The prisoner noticed that every time the old man ate noodles, he would secretly lower the noodles under the table. The prisoner looked down and saw that the old man was feeding a rat. Seeing this, the man came up with a plan. At lunchtime, when the attention of the prison guards was distracted, he hid the spoon under the sole of his shoe, rubbing it repeatedly. He then asked for a new set of utensils. With the cover of his teammates, he managed to take 2 spoons from right in front of the guards. Back in his cell, he broke the spoons, dismantled a nail clipper, and used a file to grind a coin into powder. Then, with a match, he heated the metal and welded it together, creating a sturdy chisel. Next, he moved the box aside, laid a burlap cloth on the ground, and began to quietly dig toward the ventilation shaft. During the day, he secretly carried lime out. A few days later, he had carved out a hole big enough for one person, but the ventilation grate was embedded in the wall and couldn't be removed by hand. During a labor session, he secretly hid a metal plate. At the security checkpoint, he deliberately allowed a piece of metal to be detected and calmly asked if it could be used to hang clothes. The guard refused and began to search him. However, he hadn't realized that the man had another piece hidden in the heel of his shoe. With this piece of metal, a small push was enough to remove the ventilation grate. To avoid being caught, he soaked newspaper, shaped it into blocks, dried them, and painted them with wall color, making a fake ventilation cover that looked convincing. Then, using the same method, he created a fake head, covered it with dirt, and glued hair to it, placing it on his bed to disguise himself. Once everything was ready, he crawled into the hole and restored the iron grate. Behind the wall was a narrow drainage tunnel. He climbed up the pipes but discovered the only exit at the top was an unreachable iron window. When the guard came by, the fake head almost fooled him. But when he returned the second time, he found the man still hadn't moved. So, he asked the prisoner in the adjacent cell, who lied and said the man hadn't been feeling well lately. The guard still didn't believe it. He deliberately made noise to test him, and turned to look at the man, who remained perfectly still. The guard reached out, preparing to test him, but fortunately, the man had returned in time and didn't give himself away. He realized that escaping alone would be difficult, so he joined forces with 2 fellow prisoners to plan the breakout. They formed a human ladder to try to open the iron window, but found it had already been welded shut. The man suggested using an electric drill, but the others thought it was impossible. During the prison concert, he stole a small fan, hid it in the music box, and passed the inspection with a calm expression. That night, he modified the fan into an electric drill. For the next half-month, he worked on it at night, finally drilling out the rivets. The man then met with his teammates to plan the escape for the following week. However, the warden suddenly checked the rooms, and the man felt nervous. Fortunately, the disguised ventilation shaft had not been discovered. He sensed that his cover would soon be blown and decided to act early. That night, the 3 of them placed the fake head and crawled into the tunnel, but one teammate hesitated and backed out. They helped each other climb to the roof, carefully avoiding the searchlights, then slid down the drainage pipes, painfully climbed over the last iron grate, and ran to the seaside, using homemade inflatable life vests to swim toward freedom. The next day, the guards discovered only the fake head in the bed. They launched a full search, but only found a chrysanthemum on the shore, symbolizing that the escape had been successful.